Sanibonani, Sani, Bonani. Welcome to Expressive Convos with Sestembi. Today we have a conversation with Belinda Sishoka Mufolo, where we'll be talking about her journey in education and in early childhood education. Belinda, welcome to my studio. How are you?
I'm fine.
Can you greet my viewers?
Dumelang realocha babogedi.
Belinda, can you please tell us about yourself? Who is Belinda?
Okay. Belinda ki muruti.
Okay.
I'm a pastor. I'm a teacher. I'm a businesswoman.
Okay.
An ECD founder and manager. Belinda ki is a wife,
Okay.
a mother,
All right.
a grandmother, and yeah, Belinda is a whole lot of things. Most people would identify me as a mem or Belinda Tulare. Some would identify me as Belinda Mutiang, and recently I would be identified as Belinda Sishoka Mufolo.
Thank you so much. Belinda is a package, and to me, she's just a sister. I forgot to say that. She's a sister to me, and she's a sister to so many people out there. Can you share a bit about your journey into education? I know that you were once an educator, and Mina, I met you when you were in this field of early childhood development. Can you give us a background of yourself in an education setting?
Okay, yes, my journey started in 1981.
Okay.
Yes, 1981, when I went and registered with the Kwenamuloto College of Education in Limpopo, Seshego. And yeah, I did a diploma for 3 years, and I graduated in 1984, and then I started teaching in 1985.
Wow, that's very sweet.
Yes, and the love for children saw me teaching and going up the ladder up until I exited in 2014.
All right.
Yes.
Then how did you, because I found you being a very committed person in the early childhood development, how did you get into ECD?
Yes. I started teaching in 1985, as I said, and I taught at high school for 5 years.
Okay.
And then after 5 years, I was redeployed to a middle school.
All right.
In 1990, where I taught for the next 25 years.
All right.
In my 25 years of teaching at a middle school, I was saddened by the fact that kids would come to the middle school to do grade 7. These kids would not even be able to read or write, and they could not even write their names. And then I would ask myself, what kind of foundation did these kids have? And that's what prompted me and motivated me to go and start an early learning center.
Okay.
Where, and I even started it at an area where most parents are unemployed.
All right.
Because my passion was to give the less privileged a chance for a better start
That's very good.
in education.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That's very. You did not start early childhood development for business. You wanted to correct something. You wanted to know that when these children get to grade 7,
Yes.
even when we are not there, but they are ready.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
And what you know what? I know that in life we have people who influence us to do things. I'm an educator myself. I was influenced by one lady, Elizabeth. She was one of people that we saw when I was growing. Then I said, I want to be like her. Do you have some people or a person who influenced you to take this route of being an educator?
Yes, of course. I remember I had a lady teacher when I was still in primary school, Mem Sefara, may her soul rest in peace. And I loved this woman so much. I loved the way she dressed. I loved the way she the way she presented herself.
Yeah.
And I just admired her. I just wanted to be like her. and in high school,
Yeah.
I met a very wonderful teacher. She was the only lady teacher at our junior secondary school, and this lady, motivated me so much.
Okay.
Yeah, she motivated me so much. She even kind of adopted me.
Okay.
She kind of adopted. I remember when I was doing my Form 3. We did not have a science and maths teacher.
All right.
And she took me, she would travel with me to her home every day. I practically lived at her house because her husband, even though he was not a teacher, he was good in maths and science.
Yeah.
So he taught me in the evenings, and I was the only student at my school who passed maths and science with a C symbol.
Girl.
For that.
Wow.
Yes.
That's very good.
Yes. So those are the people who really, really motivated me to take the path.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. What do you think are the biggest gaps needed in the current ECD landscape? Mina nawe siku ECD yangisho. And ECD, you can see that kunama gaps. So what do you think? What can be your advice and izinto ongazisho regarding the gaps that we have in early childhood development?
Yeah. It's actually very sad that we still have, even after all these years, 31 years of democracy.
Yes.
We still have so many gaps in our education system.
Okay.
Especially with regard to early childhood development.
Yes.
I regard it as one of the most important sectors.
Okay.
Because it shapes the life of a child.
Yeah.
Remember, the brain of a child or a human brain
Yes.
develops 90% within the first 5 years.
Very true.
And if that 5 years is missed, you can just imagine what
It's a
kind of a
mess.
disaster we will be having in the future.
Yeah.
So there are still gaps. Because my ECD is at the informal settlement,
Yeah.
I would concentrate more on that. Because you know what? With regard to funding, with regard to resourcing, we still have a long way to go. Because children in the informal settlements, in the rural areas, are not really catered for in a satisfying manner.
Okay.
In the sense that, like I've been running my ECD now for it's 9 years now.
All right.
And up to now, it's not funded because of the requirements needed. It's in an informal settlement, it's unproclaimed, the land is unproclaimed, and so on, and so all those and many factors that really are not the responsibilities of the children. My argument is these children who are in the informal settlement or in unproclaimed land, they have the same rights as the kids in the urban areas. But they don't get those rights. I mean, these are hungry kids. They are kids from homes that are 100% reliant on the grant money. And these are the kids who are supposed to be funded and taken care of more than any other thing. But you find that the kids are disadvantaged because unfortunately their parents found themselves in an unproclaimed land. So the government is doing something, but I still feel that it's not enough. The process must be speeded up. The proclamation of these lands must be speeded up so that these kids get the resources. They get to be, because the more time is taken in proclaiming this land, the more delay on the development of the children.
Yeah. I like what you've just said, Dr. Belinda, because we do have, where I'm coming from, it's a rural area. And we have norms and standards, and we have bylaws from the municipalities, and we've got a community that needs help. But they're making it so difficult for people who really needs to benefit out of these programs to get helped. So I like effect yoguti uti labantwana balambile. These children are hungry and they need to belong to a center that is funded. But the problem is they're living in this community and the community doesn't meet the standards of the requirement
for funding.
For funding.
Yes.
So I think the government should look at that, because I don't think children should suffer because their parents decided to be on that. And actually, it's not a matter of decision.
It's not even a matter of decision. They unfortunately found themselves faced with a situation of homelessness.
Yeah.
You know, we come from communities that were, this most people who are in informal settlements are the ones who were living in the backyards of Abo Masten.
Yes.
Now they want to have their own place. They cannot afford to buy houses. They cannot afford to. So they found themselves in rural areas, not even rural, but informal settlements.
Informal settlement.
Yeah. And then their kids are being punished for that.
And another thing, they're unemployed.
Yes, and I feel it's a double punishment.
And the problem of unemployment is the government problem.
Yes.
It's not the children's problem. But we do have social workers who are working in our communities, and I think they're seeing that. Then the municipality should relax the bylaws for some areas.
Exactly.
You cannot compare a person who's staying in Centurion and a person who's staying in the place where your center is. But when you look at the bylaws, they're just
standard.
The same. They're standard.
Yeah, they're standard.
So that is not fair. Let us move to the next question. What are your future plans for your organization? I know that we all have, I do have future plans.
Yes.
What are your future plans for your organization?
Any organization.
Or specifically the early childhood, or should I say, what are your future plans for early childhood development?
Yes. Any organization has got a potential for growth and a zeal for growth. And the same applies to my organization.
Okay.
By the way, I'm talking about Noah's Ark Early Learning Center. Okay. When Noah in the Bible was given an instruction by God to build an ark.
Yeah.
Noah's Ark is from that. It's on the. It's got that background where I feel like a Noah who was to go out there and build an ark.
Yes.
And for 9 years now, I don't know how long it took Noah in the Bible to build the ark, but it took me 9 years to build this ark, the Noah's Ark Early Learning Center.
Yeah.
And now we are done building it, and now we are expanding we are expanding. It's time. The ARC is ready. It's well equipped. In terms of resources and everything.
Okay.
It's ready for boarding.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ready for boarding, and that is why we are working on the new project now, very, very soon to be unmasked. Noah, it will be called Aboard the Ark Christian Kiddies Academy.
Wow,
Yes.
that sounds so sweet.
Yeah, so we are going on board now.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the plan you have.
That's the plan.
And when are you planning to roll in your plan?
Come next year, January 2026. Actually, towards the end of the year, October, November, December, we will be admitting our new and old kids into the new Aboard the Ark Christian Kiddies Academy, shortened ATACA.
Okay.
Yeah, so ATACA will be taking in new kids. It will be opening in Dilopie, Hammanskraal.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What are the new programs or projects are you planning? I can hear that the ECD center that you're talking about is an extension of Noah's Ark.
Yes.
Then what other programs or projects are you planning to introduce in the new area that you are planning to start the project
Okay.
in 2026?
Yes. Yes, like I said, we were in the building stage.
Yeah.
Now we are done building, and I'm so excited. And some of I'm so excited that we will be introducing things like swimming.
Wow.
Yes. Most of the time during the festive seasons, we have cases of kids drowning.
Okay.
And I think it's high time that our kids in disadvantaged areas also knew how to swim, so that we can reduce the number of kids drowning. We will also be introducing robotics.
Wow.
Yes, and yeah, a whole lot, and computer lessons.
Okay.
Computer lessons for our small kids.
Wow.
We are without doubt in the what do they call it? The fourth revolution.
Yes.
Yeah, the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
Where kids need to be computer literate. Kids need to be, they are not. Yeah, they are not the same as when me and you were growing up. Yeah, kids these days, they can master this phone more than you can do.
They do. They don't even need a manual.
They don't.
With me, when I buy a new phone or any device, I need to read a manual.
Yes.
But kids, they just plug and play.
Yes.
They just plug and play.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Belinda. Let's go to the next question. That is, what legacy do you hope to live in ECD sector? We are in this sector. It's growing every day.
Yes.
And it's changing every day.
Yes.
And we are getting old. And, not long we will retire or we will leave this world.
Yeah.
What legacy are you hoping to leave for this sector?
Yes, what I would love to see is the quality.
Okay.
The quality of children that are produced by ECD sector.
Okay.
When going to school, these children should be ready and eager.
Okay.
Yeah, when that time comes where I will see children going to school, being ready to read and write, or to read and tell stories and retell stories. Children who can go to the library as young as early childhood kids. They can go to the library and read storybooks. And kids who can compete with other kids from other well advanced provinces or advanced, children who will be able. We see children in shows like the Bill Cosby show. Yeah, we see
Billy Cosby show.
Yeah, the Bill Cosby show.
Okay.
Children who, when we watch Bo America Has Got Talent, you can see children who are talented,
Yeah.
self-motivated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see children from, especially I'm passionate about children from rural areas because I grew up in a rural, and I mean rural area, deep rural area. So if I can see children, especially from areas that I can relate with, having that self-esteem, that drive, I would say I did it.
So the future looks very bright for our children if Dr. Belinda says, I want to see them doing or competing with children who are coming from high class level of education. It doesn't matter where your child comes from, even if it's for rural areas or townships or suburbs or even in Centum. When they meet, they need to be able to compete with each other. Thank you so very much, Dr. Belinda. What advice can you give to Sestembi or to any person who wants to venture into early childhood development today? We've got people who are dreaming every day. Someone out there is dreaming to start an early childhood development or starting to venture into this amazing sector, early childhood development. How would you advise them?
Let me first start by saying early childhood development has been undermined a lot. And then I remember one day one of the children I taught back then passed by my center, and I was playing with the kids, and this kid said, "Yo, mem o utlogetse go ruta ko sekolong o tlo dlala le bana." That's how we are perceived, and that's how people see early childhood developers or teachers. They don't see it as important. But let me tell you, this is one of the most important sectors because it shapes the life of a child. I mentioned that a child's brain develops within the first 5 years of the first 5 years of this child. So if we miss it, the child is lost.
Yeah.
So it's very important, and I would say to everyone, young and old, wishing or dreaming to open an ECD center, that you are on the right track.
Okay.
You are actually part of the builders of this country.
Wow.
Because if we ignore childhood development, we are ignoring a nation.
Sure.
So anyone who wants to venture into ECD,
Yes.
I would say with shoulders held high and your chin held up, do it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Thank you. So if you want to start early childhood development, if you want to venture into ECD, do it. But don't just do it. You need to get information. We have a problem of people starting early childhood development without information, and it becomes a problem when you keep children in that early childhood development without teaching them anything. Remember, ECD, it's all about learning and playing at the same time. And that is a principle. Dr. Belinda, we all have challenges in life.
Yes.
Ne?
Yes.
How do you cope? Ne? How do you get motivated on challenging days?
Okay. Yes, of course, there are challenging days every day, especially if you have to think about your unfunded ECD,
Yeah.
you think about your parents who cannot pay, you think about all sorts of things, you
Yes.
know. But let me tell you, number one, love what you do.
Love what you do.
Love what you do.
I love that.
I love my children. I love children so much.
Okay.
Their faces when I enter the center, and they all want to come out of their classes, Granny B, Granny B, Granny B. And when I see those smiling faces, I just melt and forget about the challenges that I have. I just want to do it
I'm
over
melting
and
as you
over
speak.
again. This is something I can
Yeah.
do over and over again.
That's good.
It gives me so much satisfaction.
Thank you so much. So having children is like we are having heaven on earth.
Exactly.
Because they're so
that's the
peaceful.
best way of putting it.
They're so peaceful. Yeah. How do you find balance between your professional work, your personal life as a mother and a wife? And listening at you, you are just a package. But I know that you have yourself, you have your own life, except what you do for the community. You are a mother to your children, and you are a wife to your husband. How do you balance?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But remember, all what I do revolves around children, people. So it's one overlaps into the other.
Okay.
I'm a wife, and I'm married to a pastor.
Yeah.
So we are both parents
Okay.
to the congregation,
Okay.
and we are parents to our children,
Okay.
and we are parents to the ECD children
Yes.
that are under us. Now, all this, they may seem like 3 or 4 different roles, but we just envelope them into one thing, because we just find one overlapping into the other and
Okay.
automatically being an extension of the other.
All right.
So when we get out of our house,
Yes.
and then we go to church, it's like we are in another family.
So it's home to home.
It's home to home.
All right.
And then from church, we go to the ECD center.
It's home to home.
Yeah, it's like moving from one room to the other in the same house.
Oh.
So it's not like we
So
and
you
it's amazing.
don't separate home from work. You don't separate church from
Not
home.
really, not really.
They are all linked.
They just differ in the manner in which you are going to handle them. When we move to church, we become pastors. We are pastoring the congregation.
Okay.
We take care of their spiritual needs and so on. And so when we get to the crèche, it's an extension
Okay.
with a different cap here now,
Okay.
that you have to take care of their education,
Yes.
make sure they've got the resources. And when we get to our home, now we get to our children who look at us as parents, and then it's just changing caps.
Okay.
You change caps, and then you change the language. You change,
I'm learning something from Dr. Belinda, that you don't have to see your work and your family and your partner as a challenge. Just create a platform where you just connect. She said something very important, and I'm seeing a church, I'm seeing my business, I'm seeing my family as one house, different rooms. So when I go to the kitchen, I do what I can do in the kitchen.
Exactly.
When I go to the living room, I do what I can do in the living room. Then when I go to the bedroom, it's time for me to rest and sleep. Girl, you've got it right.
Yes.
And you have educated me.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything that you would like to share with our listeners? Any motivation, anything from your heart that you can say to our viewers?
To our viewers out there, let me point out to you that you need to be, all these roles that I've been mentioning, all these caps, all these rooms that I've been talking about, from the kitchen to the living room, from the living room to the bedroom, from the bedroom to the bathroom,
Yes.
all these rooms, they need one to be self-disciplined.
Okay.
You have to be self-disciplined, and you have to know who you are and
All
what
right.
you want.
Okay.
One thing that I've learned is building is never easy. I was sharing with the church on Sunday
Okay.
about Nehemiah. When Nehemiah received a message that the Jerusalem was in ruins. And because it was his hometown, he cried. He was sad. And he went to the king and asked the king to allow him to go back home to rebuild the fallen walls. And the Bible says when Nehemiah got to Jerusalem, what he started with was to rebuild the gates,
Okay.
because the gates were fallen,
Okay.
were destroyed with fire. They were burnt down.
Okay.
So a household without a gate has got no respect.
People have easy access.
People have easy access. They can come through the front gate and go out through the back gate. Which means in your life, people will go as they wish. They will go in and out as they wish.
Okay.
So my advice would be, have self-discipline
Okay.
so that you keep your gates locked.
Okay.
And when I say gates locked, I mean every area of your life must you must know when to talk, who to talk to, and what to talk about,
And the how part.
and how
Yeah.
to say it. There is a way you talk to
Yes.
parents as your clients.
Yes.
There is a way you talk to the congregation. There is a way you talk to your children.
Yeah.
And there's a way you talk to those kids at the center.
And us as colleagues.
And there is a way to talk to colleagues.
Yes.
So all these things, they need you to know yourself and to know who you are, and to have your life packed up nicely so that you don't mess up things.
Did you hear that? Have your gate closed. Don't allow people to have easy access, not just in your house, but in your life. You need to have boundaries. You need to know people and also have respect for people. You need to know how to address people, check the level of people. When you're talking to children, respect children as children.
Yes.
When you're talking to your colleagues, respect people as colleagues and address them as colleagues. And when you're talking to your spouse, you do the same.
Of course.
I love that. Okay?
Yes.
I'm learning from you. Where can people learn where can people learn about your work? Nowadays we've got social media. Nowadays we've got TikTok. I love TikTok. I'm doing TikTok every day. But it is a way of people getting to know us,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can share your accounts and also your contact numbers.
Okay. I'm on TikTok as Queen Bee.
All right.
Yes, I'm on TikTok as Queen Bee. I'm also on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, as Belinda
Okay.
Sishokamfulo.
Yes.
And I'm also on WhatsApp.
Girl.
And I'm here now.
Yes. Then what is your WhatsApp number?
My WhatsApp number is 073 907
907
1752.
1752. Thank you so very much, Dr. Belinda, for spending some time with us. It was a nice conversation.
Yes, it was.
Can I tell you something?
Yes, of course.
It's nice to have a conversation with a pastor because you get the word of God as we go. So I have learned a lot from you. I was the one interviewing you and you were teaching me. You are not just Dr. Belinda, you are a teacher and a good preacher as well. Hope people will learn a lot from you. Those who will follow you, please use your social media to convey these messages to talk to people. Use your TikTok to talk to us. You've got a lot to deliver to us. But reaching us, it's very expensive. But through social media, it's very easy. This is Expressive Converse with Sestembi. If you want to be part of our conversation, feel free to talk to me on 066 046 8230. Thank you very much and bye-bye.